1979, I was one of the first 2 women in the Carpenters Local 424, and I stayed in the union for 7 years. I did 4 years of apprenticeship school and did various jobs. I did remodeling the Sears, the Caldors, learned roofing, siding, shingling, formwork, and I got my apprenticeship into journeyman after 4 years of the school. So I gradually got the raises, and then I went into the healthcare about 10 years ago. I worked for a lady with cerebral palsy with my daughter on Sundays. And 2 years ago, I retired from 30 years of the post office as a letter carrier, and I've been a healthcare giver part-time ever since. My very first, Dad had me up on the roof when I was 13, and he gave me $10 a day for learning roofing, shingling, and I was humping the bundles of shingles up the ladder for him. And then we built a house when I was 19 for him in New Hampshire, and it was myself, brothers, and friends, and we built it from start to finish, and it took about 10 years. But Dad was the influence of me learning carpentry, and I enjoyed working with my hands and wood. Well, it was through a CEDAR program, and at the time I just graduated high school. I wanted to go to art school, but we didn't really have the money for me to go. My father encouraged me instead to go do the Women in Construction, where they gave us the $3 an hour to learn. So there was about 18 women, ages 18 to 25, and they all wanted to be carpenters. So we drew straws, and I was very happy to win my carpentry straw. And the other women were masons, electricians, painters, and plumbers. So we had a class for 4 months down in Carver on Crystal Lake. We'd start out our day getting in shape, jogging around the bogs, swimming in Crystal Lake. I was probably in the best shape of my life. And we built stairs, walls, shingling, and the other women did a masonry, block wall, bricks. The girls did junction boxes for electricians and outlets, and the painters learned to plaster and hang sheetrock. But when we had our graduation, it took us so long to build the stairs, they weren't painted as we walked up to get our certification. So it was to get us ready for the union world. This was we were in the pilot, very first program. But we had this wonderful retired teacher, John Alves, who was retired carpenter. And if he saw our little bead of sweat on our head working out in the sun, we sat under the tree and had lemonade. And the union world was nothing like that. So once we did graduate and try to get out into the working field, only maybe 8 girls pursued it, and the rest just went back to scooping ice cream or whatever, because it was a men's world and they didn't want women there. We had to fight to get our foot in the door, but we did it. I found union jobs, and they said, we will let you in if you have a union card, but it was mostly the business agent laughing, saying, oh yeah, the women should be up in the sawmills of New Hampshire, you want to work with wood. I'm not giving you a union card until you have a union job. So I had to put the supervisor of Caldors on the phone with the business agent in Hingham, and they both agreed to let me in. And my friend Pam got in the same time as me, and she worked at this year's job and did the same thing. Well, I felt like I had to prove myself that I was earning my $6.50 an hour at the time, when my friends were earning $2.50 scooping ice cream at Friendly's. So I would carry 5 2x4 studs on my shoulder. I would lump 80-pound bundles of shingles up a ladder, and I just felt like I had to work twice as hard to prove it to the men. And the younger men would come up to me and say, "You're taking bread and butter off my family's table," and didn't really accept me. But I said I wanted to have a family and a house someday and possibly be an architect, so this was helping me towards my goal. But the older men were wonderful. They took me right under their arm like a grandfather, showed me the tricks of the trade, and my best friend Sue's dad, who I knew since I was 11, I happened to be on the job with him, and I really enjoyed working side by side with her dad and others. We wore men's clothes, so I did wear the duck pants in the winter. I wore jean overalls, painter's pants that had the holder for the knife, army pants, and I wore knee pads a lot because I noticed when I knelt on concrete or roofs, I would get wholly dirty knees and also holes in my work boots from kneeling.
How did the men's stuff fit?
Well, I felt like, I wore things loose. I didn't want to draw any more attention because it seemed like they were always eyeballing me. So I just wore loose, comfortable t-shirts, flannel shirts, and when it was winter, I wore ski pants. So I was outside all day. Yeah, it'd be like 5 degrees and we'd be out pouring concrete. Well, I really liked working outside. I love being out in the spring, the fall. I felt lucky while my friends were cooped up in office cubicles, and I liked working with wood and learning new things, and the day went by fast, and I liked the pay rate and knowing I was going to work towards my journeymanship and have insurance, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it was a lot of hard work too. There was many days I didn't want to be out there all day in the rain and the snow, and I really hated the porta potties.
Oh,
I had to go where the men went, and I would just take my whole lunch just to go to Dunkin' Donuts bathroom instead or something. The porta potties were probably the hardest part of the job. My husband told me, don't get into it, it's a racket, but we were young and we needed to earn an income, and I got into it anyway, and when I was laid off, we would work together, my husband and I, and it was tough because 24/7 he would say, "Cut this board, will you?" And if it was too short, he'd tell me to go make pies or something I was good at. And then,
Where was it that you bought your house? You bought it
1984, yes. So
What was that house like?
we did. It had no heat, broken windows, broken plumbing, leaks. We just completely remodeled it and gutted it, and we were able to improve it and make it a lovely home for our 3 daughters. But every time we had a baby, it seemed like the work would stop on the house. It was 90 years old, beach house. But we did everything, the siding, the windows, and then we built new decks, and we made a lot of improvements. Sure, I think that they know that they can be anything they want to be. They saw their mother doing more of a man's role, and they are not scared to do do-it-yourself projects. They will even call me for advice and tackle them, and they did help their dad growing up, especially Frankie. And they all like to be creative and artistic, work with their hands. So after 30 years at the post office, I retired and told my daughters I think I would like to work taking care of the seniors. 2 of them are caregivers, and they said, "Mom, it's a lot different delivering the mail than taking care of the seniors, you'll see." And I saw, but I enjoyed being able to help the seniors and work part-time. And with my seniors, I will do chair yoga with them and give them acupressure when I say, "Don't you want me to be washing your floors?" And they're saying, "No, just give me body work on my neck is sore today for 2 hours, so I will. And they thank me up and down. So it's very rewarding to see them feel better and improve their quality of life. Yes, well, when I first started working for some agencies, you were required to wear scrubs. But I just like to wear them because they're lightweight. When I give the seniors showers, they dry quickly as we get a little wet. I like something comfortable and loose on the neck, and something durable and easy to move around in. Yes, I'm just happy when I tuck them in bed at night after a 9-hour shift, and they thank me saying, everything you did today, helped me, and just knowing that I gave them the best quality of life and helping their well-being, and there for whatever they need me.